viewers, it's been a good run. Over a year of good content all around. It's about time to put all this to rest and move on to new... Hang on, what? Guys, it's over. It's time to move on to other games and topics. Alright, fine. I'll do it.
You better stick the caption up.
Hello viewers, Swiftleamer here, and welcome to yet another Lethal Company video. Today's modding reviews will be a little different. Instead of looking at moons, we will be reviewing and ranking modded interiors that accompany these maps. It has now been over a year since this small indie horror game started dominating the internet, and somehow people still cannot get enough of it, which I cannot for the life of me understand. But nah, I'm kidding. We're not here to talk about Lethal Company itself. We're here to talk about free profit add-ons that fans made. From early in Lethal Company's run, many talented individuals have made modded additions to the game. For every aspect of the game, from maps to layouts to monsters to music, the list goes on. Fast forward to now, there are thousands of them. Some of them display a great amount of creativity, and some are just bland recreations of even more bland memes and whatnot. All the following pieces of content you are about to see and so much more is available through an app called Thunderstore if you're looking to play these yourself. Now, originally this was just going to be a subsection of another update to the moon rankings, but from what I've seen and what was requested in the comments last time, this has evolved into a video of its own. Now do be aware, the moons these interiors may be compatible with is a very confusing thing to explain. As modded moons are constantly being updated or taken down, I cannot firmly guarantee where these interiors will work and where they won't. The most I could do is tell you what moons in the main game it's compatible with, but even then, that could change at any given time. What I'm trying to say is, take that part with a grain of salt. Lastly, just like the main game's interiors, they are still randomly generated, so there's a chance you may not get it anyways. On a side note, I want you all to know how hard it was to get footage for some of these. So, with that being said, let's stop marveling at the landscapes of the galaxy for just a second, and finally go back indoors to count down these modded interiors. Okay, alright, before we start, I feel an obligation to shout this one out. Last time I checked, this mod was deprecated. A shame really, as it was expansive and really good. Many influencers and players had the chance to see this before it disappeared from Thunderstore. This work will be missed. It truly was a work of art. It was compatible with many moons, it had many generational options at its disposal, and now it's gone. No knowing if it will come back, or regardless, it will be remembered. Number 28, Rar Jigger Mines by Demon May, the most tightly compact of Demon May's interiors, and the one that has the least generated rooms, at least from my experiences. I really like the theming of this moon because it is also the only interior that introduces lethal lava, but other than that, this is relatively simple, and I cannot ignore that reality. Fear not, Demon May has many more entries on this ranking, and is as regular with these kind of lists. They will only get better as they go. Stay tuned. Number 27, School Dungeon by Mr. Unreal Team. Like the mines, there are very few generational rooms, but what really sucks about this interior is how exclusive and obscure it is. It's only accessible via one moon made by the same developer, which I will cover if I do another moon ranking. It's pretty generic, so I'd recommend it for beginning players only. Oh, and you could grab and use fire extinguishers off the walls. Have fun with those things, cause I sure as heck did. Number 26, Dreary Pipeworks by Demon May. The whole place looks rusted and wet, which I guess was the point. Some parts of this interior, however, are just too dark to see anything. The color code of the lights are not as prominent as they are on some of Demon May's other interiors. It also utilizes some of the water features from the mineshaft interior. There's also water traps that you cannot get out of, and it's dreary and full of pipes. Good gosh. Yep, that's about all I gotta say for this one. Number 25, Gothic Monastery by Demon May. I'm gonna be honest, I thought I was gonna really like this one, but it's arguably one of Demon May's weaker interiors. But nonetheless noteworthy. While there is a smaller amount of rooms it can generate, it's actually quite manageable and an average difficulty with its navigation. Where it excels in, however, is its chosen art style, which looks similar to Central European churches, though certainly not to scale. The stained glass work in some of the rooms is of exceptional detail, and continuing Demon May's trends of open-air skylights, it typically looks good as well. I would not recommend it for those looking for more of a challenge, but otherwise would recommend checking this out. Number 24, Naily Haven by Demon May. Okay, hear me out. This is just Gothic Monastery again, but with a different color scheme in most rooms. Some of the floors and lights have a touch of theming from the manor interior, which is good I guess. Some could probably have more fun or more to say with this one, but I literally can't think of anything else to say for this interior other than it's the previous interior, but slightly better. Number 23, CDOM Metro by, Demon May. Before I say anything else, let me make myself clear. Do not play this on Titan. Of all the times I've played this Gauntlet of a Moon, it has never been this bad. Okay, difficulty aside, this is a pretty intricate interior. Tunnels are typically big, and you can check the abandoned subway cars as well. But, as a consequence, there are very few places to hide or otherwise outrun monsters. Oh, damn you, not again! So as much as I appreciate the upgrade in detail, I cannot really recommend this one. At least on Titan, like I said before. Number 22, Mantif Dungeon by Drop. I've been requested more than once to check this out, and now seeing it, I don't know why. This interior was pretty generic. Now I can admire it for some of its design choices, but for the most part, I just don't understand it. It doesn't even really match the theming of the moon it's based on. It looked more like a late 70s television show office building than a supposed science lab. Regardless, its navigation isn't that bad, so if you want to check it out then go ahead. I'll talk about the moon itself in a later video, which was far more impressive anyways. Number 21, Woodland Mansion by Hardy Bros Flight School. There are 3 Minecraft interiors we will be covering here. This one is just way too dark. It's hard to see more than a few inches in front of you. The view outside the windows are obvious small skyboxes. Like, blatantly obvious. It's not a small nitpick. If you pick the right moon, you'll have an appropriately terrifying assortment of monsters. Just don't forget to bring your flashlight if you're planning to explore this interior. Otherwise, it won't be as much of an experience as it is a death trap. Number 20, Starlancer Warehouse by Audio Night. I'm a bit surprised to see another intergalactic factory interior. Like, you could code anything for this. And instead you decide to do another one of these? Well, it's got more to it than the previous entries. This interior takes the values of factory interiors that you won't see until further in the list, so I won't spoil any of them right now. For how much it borrows and capitalizes on certain ideas, it doesn't have as much replay value as I'd otherwise would have liked to admit, especially since how much the Starlancer moons impressed me in previous videos. Number 19, LC Office by Piggy. Okay, I'm going to be honest, I'm not up to date on this one. Last time I saw it was on a Meritopia revisit, and I found out the chances for it showing up are unclear, on all moons. From what I remember, however, it was originally known as showing one of the first working elevators in Lethal Company, ever. The rest of the generational rooms are expansive, confusing, and backrooms-esque. Now, this info could very well be outdated by now, but from past experience, it lands it right about here in the rankings. If someone knows the code for this interior and where it spawns, feel free to tell me in the comments. Number 18, Seperate Temple by Demon May. One of Demon May's better selections takes on the form of a Mesoamerican temple. Has a similar room generation to Gothic Monastery, but ultimately just looks and for the most part plays better. The doors are massive, and the parkour sections are adorned with spike pits. It's much easier to navigate, all the while looking and playing very well. Number 17, Scarlet Devil Mansion by Alice. Can't shake the idea that this might be based off an external IP. But I don't know for sure, and I don't care. This was still a good interior. Rooms were good and creative. One of the parkour sections is over a vortex of eyeballs for some reason. I guess it works. The suits of armor are a nice touch as well. This is also one of the more accessible interiors in the game, as it is supposedly available on most snow moons, as opposed to a moon that only the creator made. Would recommend as a beginning modded interior, as it's well detailed, offers a good challenge, and doesn't take as long to download. Number 16, Ubel Terra Interior by Skeleton Studios. Talked about this a little bit on my last ranking, and I don't have much to add from my last report. Nevertheless, it's still unique and enjoyable. Ubel Terra is a whole experience. A moon, an interior, SFXs, monsters, and loot, all brand new and exclusive. The interior itself is reminiscent of an industrial funhouse. Colorful but dark hallways, many office rooms separating hallways, eye-filled monitors. There's a lot of replay value here, and it's still there after all these months. There's so much to appreciate and marvel at here. Number 15, Scarge Outpost by Demon May. Demon May's best interior so far. Unlike every other entry on this ranking, this one actually benefits from being way too dark. This allows the glowing doors to lead you. Ceiling spike traps could be hiding anywhere, so be sure to spam your scan button. The entrance also typically has a water feature you won't be able to climb out of, so be careful of that as well. Think of what else harder moons can place into this interior, and you're in for a chilling experience. I can at least give Demon May some points for coming up with creative names for her interiors. Number 14, Sewer by Scoopy. Part of the Variety Pack mod, which includes another entry further up the list. It shares a few similarities with the Departed bunker map in its appearance. The entrance is not randomly generated. It requires you to head down a claustrophobic hatch, which really adds to the immersion. What's even weirder is that the sewers halls themselves are actually pretty open space by comparison. This interior is a thorough experience. It's available on most vanilla moons, though I have little knowledge of its existence on others. It's worth a shot. Number 13, Stronghold by Hardy Bros Flight School. Even next to the newer Mineshaft interior, this looks like it holds its own in the ring. In Minecraft, strongholds can be massive and creative, and they still are here. In addition to the usual cells, hallways, and portal room, you can even get a lava ravine. This offers a much better time than Woodland Mansion, but it's still beaten out by one more Minecraft interior. Don't let that sway you. This offers a very good time and is still worth checking out. Number 12, Husky Interiors by Red Husky Studios. Yep, that's what the interior is called. A little ironic because it's only one interior. It bears a great resemblance to the only map it's available on. There's a very interesting mechanic on this one. Maintenance hatches you can crawl through. There's even a chance you can get away from some monsters this way. Most doors are normally locked, so it lets you get familiar with the mechanic very quickly. Dead ends are very articulate and open-aired by comparison. Red Husky put a lot of dedication into this interior, and I commend his efforts. It may take a few tries to get used to this interior, but it gets better as you keep playing it. Okay, here we go. Number 11, The Toy Store by Magic Wesley. Call me a man of particular taste, but I gotta say, for the absolute magician of a maker that is Magic Wesley, I expected a little bit more from this one. But for what we got, this was still far from disappointing. With the power dwindling, leaving only a small area visible, this map will let you play red light, green light effectively even if there are no coil heads. There are life-size nutcrackers here, some are inactive, some are real. The difference between the two is nearly impeccable, with the only hint being a height difference. So you're on your own. While it's hard to tell how randomly generated the map is because it's so dark, the fear factor is there, and hence bumps it up a few notches. It doesn't matter much anyways, as he has another interior in his lineup which is so much better. So while I can honestly say it grew old after a little while, I would still recommend it. Number 10, Ender City by Hardy Bros Flight School. Easily the best of the three Minecraft interiors. Though, really, does it actually count as an interior? It becomes open air and parkour based. While it is difficult even without its monster problems, it has the most going for it. And the exit may be hard to travel back to, it's also the most vivid and has the most replay value. Unfortunately, dodging brackens is not any easier than dodging Enderman, but I digress. I enjoy this interior, and hence why it's up here near the top. It might have made number 1 if there was a working elytra. Oh well, guess jetpacks will have to do. Number 9, 2 by Tolian. Never predicted Tolian would team up with Netsuwa to bring this interior. It plays very similarly to Demon Maze interiors. It's dark, but not too dark that it warrants flashlights. The generation is actually incredible. You can really tell effort and diligence were put into this one. But once again, I would advise choosing moons carefully as difficulty can vary greatly. A lot of the rooms have low ceilings, which don't make the rooms look like they stand out as much as they actually do. So in short, it's relatively easy to get lost. Don't let that sway you, this is still a really good interior. Number 8, Slaughterhouse by Nikki. A pleasant Halloween surprise. Interior, as you may imagine, will generate crawlable vents, large rooms with strung up meat. The meat lockers actually let out a warning before temporarily locking, just like Devour. And if you sacrifice the pigs, then bad things happen. Oh hey buddy. This moon is an incredibly faithful shout out that brings the original's fear factor and is all around a very solid interior that I would recommend to all who aren't jittery. Which to be fair, should be everyone, because this is a horror game. Number 7, Dungeon by Scoopy. Talked about this one a couple of times in previous rankings. It's heavily accessible on most modded moons. It actually does not have that many different generational rooms from the regular dungeon, albeit a different style. Its chosen style is actually quite similar to that of a Zelda dungeon. I would recommend this to all audiences, but again, be cautious about the moons you pick, which will toss up the difficulty. For instance, Atlas Abyss by Zingar will make it a purely mask-oriented experience. Other than that, nothing to object to. This is a classic and still holds up after all these months. Number 6, Sector 0 by Rosy Pies. Good gosh, the variety in rooms has upgraded a lot since the last time I've been to this moon. There are now active turrets and secluded spots you otherwise wouldn't see. There are Fallout-style vault doors, inactive old birds, and whatever the hell that thing is. I think Rosy Pies truly understands the amount of detail that could be put here, and most, if not all of it, would make sense. Only complaint is that there is a suspicious amount of masks. You're out of your mind. Anyways, this map and its interior have gotten many drastic upgrades, which gives it a more mysterious but sinister look. It's got lots of replay value, and it's just awesome. I love it. Number 5, SCP Dungeon by Zingar. This was my first modded interior, back when I was first traversing Zingar's secret lab moon for content from my very first ranking. I still haven't really played or watched the SCP games, but that does not make me rank it lower. This interior has so much to offer. No matter what moon it'll show up on, the challenge will be great and the generation is compelling and surprisingly not confusing to navigate and backtrack normally. If you're looking for a real challenge, there are several SCP related monsters you can download to have the true authentic experience with this interior. Number 4, Hyperion Station by Tulian. It's perfectly understandable why the Coal Factory mod is mandatory for this download, because it's just so expansive and detailed. The entrance room typically spans multiple stories, at least more than 2. Each generated room looks way different than the last. The door animations were overhauled as well. The color code to show locked and unlocked doors is indicated very effectively. It kinda resembles a Death Star section, like the regular factory interior got a 4K remake. Admittedly, it is pretty easy to get lost here, and if memory serves me correctly, there aren't fuse boxes in these interiors, so you'll probably get the most out of it if you're an experienced player. Number 3, Dantor's Mental Hospital by Dantor. In my last ranking videos, I noted one moon is not a full experience without this interior. Well, allow me to shed further light on it. This interior has the largest amount of random rooms, one of which is a parkour segment with swaying crane hooks which can knock you off. The loot spawns are still determined by the moon and not the interior, but I still generally had good luck with scraps here. The mere paranoia you can get here is this interior can range from incredibly easy to obscenely difficult, and it's fit for the horror this game offers. It's incredibly well built and always a good time. This could only be beaten out by perfection. Number 2, Zen Interior by Click. Listen, I have so much to say about this moon as a whole, but I will save all stuff relating to that for a later ranking. I'll be honest, I've never played Half-Life, but everything about this was grade S. The amount of details, equipment traversing, yes, you heard me right, equipment traversing, and loot drops are actually insane. Main hallways are expansive and wonderful on their own, but the interior also takes the more compact cave sections from the mineshaft and puts new lanterns and bioluminescent material on them. It reaps many benefits, all while looking stellar. Absolutely incredible work. Again, would love to talk about the moon itself as a whole as well, but you'll just have to wait till next time for that one. Number 1, The Grand Armory by Magic Wesley. Now this is what I'm talking about. This mirrors all of Magic Wesley's skills. These interiors are massive and its generations can be phenomenal. The rooms are huge, filled with catwalks, frozen storages, spiked walls, lava pots, chain bombs that are inactive, and stationary old-words which are mostly inactive. I repeat, mostly inactive. There are also operating elevators which can traverse from around 4 to 6 floors normally. Pile that on with all the extra detail, the only bad thing about this is that it's so big and so vivid that it's easy to get lost. Unfortunately, proximity voice still does not do well with distance, so don't forget your walkie-talkies. Would recommend it for experienced players if you're still willing to play the game. But for any other factor, especially detail, this is easily the best interior made from Modded Lethal Company so far. And that will do it for this video. Hi, I'm doing this recording last minute after finishing the script. I have one more thing to say. Apparently if the interior lines up with the lethal level loader, you can edit the configuration of said interior through said mod. Tulian gave pretty clear instructions as you can see right here. If you're not willing to wait around for a random generation, you can do this instead. Okay, back to wrapping up. Pause if you have to. If there are any more interiors and you want me to review them, please let me know in the comments. I don't really care if you subscribe or not, but if you enjoyed or found this helpful, please leave a like and comment. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. I know I indicated several times that I'm going to do another moon ranking in the future, but I just don't know if I want to. Huh? What's this?